Welcome to A Cup of Grace and Lori. I'm Grace,
And I'm Lori.
and this is episode 8 of our podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about numerology. So we're continuing with the theme from last week's episode 7, focusing on the non-physical realm, the metaphysical. So yeah, Lori's going to start us off. So take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us again this week. As Grace said, I'm going to be talking about numerology. I'm not an expert on it, but I do know a little bit about it because I've read about astrology and they're kind of linked. I do have a couple of books. This isn't a really old book, actually. I think it's from the 30s or 40s. It's called Your Days Are Numbered. And but what I'll just explain, numerology is ancient. Like it goes back, I don't know, oh gosh, several hundreds of years. And
so numbers are significant.
Yeah, it's numbers have meaning. You found this yourself in your everyday life, that certain numbers seem to pop up for you or they have meaning. There is a reason that numbers do apparently have meaning. So the first number that we start with is our birth date, because that's the number associated with us. So in numerology, the first number that's important is your birth date. So let's say your birthday is April 25th. The 25th is the first significant number. And and you add them up. If the number is 9 or less, you add the two numbers together. So in the case of April 25th, you add the 2 and the 5 together, and that gives you a 7. So that means your birth number or your personality number is a 7. That's what you're born with. So the number 7 has certain traits. I know off the bat, I have many friends who are 7s. They're either born as 7 or their life path is a 7. It's funny, I have quite a few friends who are 7s, and 7s are drawn to the metaphysical and the spiritual.
Because I'm a 7, right?
You're a 7. And as I said, I have other friends who are 7s too. So it's kind of strange. Well, it's surprising to me that
it's telling.
It's telling, yeah. So 7s are very much drawn to the spiritual aspects of life, the metaphysical. They look for the hidden truths.
It's resonating.
I'm reading this. She's talking about the life path 7, but it'll apply to and I think they call it a native 7 personality, meaning, the person born on the 25th or the 7th or the 16th of the month.
So whatever adds up to 7. So
exactly.
Exactly. Whether it's a singular, a literal 7, or your double digits add up to a 7.
Like born on the 16th of the month or born on the 25th. So, this is interesting. Now I'm just reading from one source here, this one book here. You must learn to be alone and not lonely. Must continually increase your store of useful knowledge. Must not concern yourself with the accumulation of material possessions. And must learn that he who loses his life materially shall find it spiritually. You must apply spiritual laws to material affairs. Must rest, study, meditate, worship, be silent, and know yourself. Must not insist upon partnerships or leadership. Must learn to understand the unseen world. Now, keep in mind, Grace, that number is what your native personality is. I know your life path is not a 7. Your life path, when we add up your birthday, is 8. Correct?
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it because my birth month is January?
It's because when you add your month, your day, and your year, and you do the same thing, like I'll give you an example. Okay, let's take February 8th, 1980. Okay, I better write that.
So I write this down. February is 2 because it's the second month.
February
February
8th, 1980. Let's say that's your birthday. February's
yeah,
a
so
2.
it's 281980.
Right. So you add the 2 and the 8, and then you add the 1980. A tip, you can, when you see a 9, you can just cross the 9 out. You don't need to add the 9 because
interesting.
it's
Okay.
you're reducing the numbers to 9 or less. So when you see a 9, you don't need to add it. So then when you add 8 and 1, you get 9. So again, you can just cross that out. You don't need to add that because it just reduces to a number 9 or below. So the 1980, for argument's sake, if you want to add it, it's fine. It's going to come to the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
so let's just do it
yeah.
that way.
Okay, sure. So then we'll add 1980 is 9 and 9, right? We've got a 9 and then we add 8 and 1 and another 9. And we'll add that with the 8 and the 2. The 8 and 2 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 9 equals 28. So reduce the 2 and the 8, or at least add the 2 and the 8 together,
It's
and
10.
that is a 1.
Yeah,
or
so
10
you
or 1.
you ignore the 0. Okay.
Yeah, ignore the 0 because it's the numbers have to reduce to 9 or less. Okay. So that birthday has a life path of 1. So so we found that adding yours up, Grace, you had a life path of 8, which, keep in mind what we just said about 7. 7 was, being, comfortable being alone, searching for life's mysteries, not placing too much on the materialistic. Now, though, here's your life path where you're supposed to be heading. This is what you're supposed to be aiming for.
Okay.
Power, material freedom. Number 8. Must be in the world of commercial activity, business affairs, power, and achievement. Must cultivate a large outlook and refuse all limitation. Must develop efficiency and management. Must learn how to oil and run the machinery. Must deal with the uninspirational, practical, and material things of life. It's interesting because you've got it's complete opposite to what the number 7 that you're born with. And
exactly.
Eschew dreams, understand the laws that govern money. Its accumulation, its power, and its use. So it's like you've got these kind of conflicting, but not really. I mean, you're born a 7. So this is your natural inclination to seek out these mysteries of life. But life is pushing you in the direction of being an 8. So yeah.
So which do I go with though?
8.
Which do I go with?
Oh, 8.
8. So the practical.
No, 8 for sure. That's your path. You have the 7 already. You'll never. That will always be a part of you, right? The 7 will always be a part of you, and you will seek this out. But your destiny is to move towards 8. Doesn't mean you ignore 7, but you move towards the 8, the executive power, the material, the business-minded. No, it doesn't.
That doesn't sound very.
Grace, it doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you have to be. It doesn't mean you have to be working in an office 9 to 5. That's not what that means. It's the energy of the 8. It's the energy of the 8. You see what the distinction is? It doesn't mean you have to go back to an office or work in that type of field. It means you have to embrace. You don't have to, but that's your life path. That's the path that's going to be where you're going to find fulfillment
Really
Yeah,
interesting.
that's
Well,
your
this
life
is going to
path.
be okay. So this is going to be
That's your life
interesting
path.
from my little story later. Okay,
Okay. Let
did we
me
want to
read.
do yours?
I will in a sec. Let me just read what she doesn't say much about it, actually. This, as I said, this is an old book. I should, when I find my other one, that might be more helpful. Your life path is found from your birth date. Okay, we already covered that. It is your initiation into what you came to do and to become. It's your destiny. Okay, it's your
That's what a life
destiny.
path is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me.
So maybe I'm thinking right now. So if I'm thinking about what's the first number? My birth number?
They
What's it
call it
called?
either your native number, your personality
Okay.
number, but it's the single digit, the day you're born on. Yeah.
So my native number and my life path number.
Mm-hmm.
If I think about this, so
Yeah.
maybe like I just have to think creatively on how to potentially merge those
Energies.
different seeming, okay, energies, we call it energies.
Yeah.
So yeah, like maybe, yeah, getting into a business where I can, right?
Maybe it's related to metaphysical somehow.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because as I said,
okay.
you're going to always have the 7 energy with you because you're born with
Mm-hmm,
that. But
mm-hmm,
this is your life path to move towards the 8. We're
mm-hmm.
all complex, Grace. We're not just one, as you know, right? We're
Yeah,
all complex. Like many of us have um, conflicting personality traits.
yeah.
It's not like, oh,
It's not black and
can't
white.
you can't describe yourself in 6
No,
person,
yeah,
right? It
that's why
A lot
yeah.
of it is situational. You might behave a certain way in a certain situation, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those seem particularly conflicting.
Yeah, on the surface, for sure.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
talk about mine. I was born and I have a 9 native number,
Oh,
personality
you're
number.
9. Okay,
I'm
let's.
a 9. Yeah. So
Oh,
I'll read.
because you're adding up 27,
No,
right?
I'm not. Oh, right. I'm just adding. Yeah, I'm adding my birthday. Yeah. So it comes to a 9.
Okay.
So mine says, must learn to be a complete humanitarian and welfare worker. Must learn to love and serve your fellow man. Must abandon all. Oh, sorry. Again, I'm reading the life path, but it's going to be. This means that I'm already like this. So I don't need to learn this. I already have this in me. So
Interesting. Okay.
because I'm reading the life path. So this would be
Okay, you're
someone that
reading
had a
life
life
path for
path at
9.
9. So in this sense, I guess I already have these traits. So realizing the basic universality of all peoples, must places all others before yourself. Well, I don't know about that, but
I think that's the case with all of us. Don't worry.
yeah.
Part of being human.
Okay. Again, this is for the life path. So it's not. This would be for someone who is aiming towards being a 9. It says must expect to be used and to give up all personal ambitions and possessions if the general good demands it. You must settle down nowhere, but consider the world your fireside.
A nomad?
Yeah, I guess. You must give
Does
your
that
life.
resonate with you?
Well, yeah, some of this does for sure. Some of this does for sure. But I wouldn't say that I haven't settled. No, I don't think I'm a nomad. No, I wouldn't call myself.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, but this is the 9 is what my native personality is like. So I'm actually moving towards, I have a life path of 5. So it would be less confusing if I wasn't reading the life path for 9, because it's like I already have these traits. Let's go to life path 5, and then I'll find out where I'm moving towards. And 5 is the number of freedom. And I know I've read this in other numerology. Life path 5 is you have to learn the proper use of freedom. That's what that life path is. One lesson. And then, okay, I'll read what she says. Must expect frequent change, variety, travel, and the unexpected. Here we go. Must learn the right use of freedom. Must learn foreign languages and understand all classes and conditions of people. Must be alert to seize all that is novel and progressive. Must adapt yourself to unusual circumstances and conditions. Must exercise ingenuity and follow various angles of development. Must constantly seek the new and untried, profiting by every experience. Well, I'm trying to do this now. I think I talked about this in a previous episode, that I really don't like change, even though I pretend that I like it. And I certainly, when something happens that's good, then I'm okay with it, right? Or I think I am. But anyway,
I think most people would
I
be
do
like
resist change. So this one is this is my life path is forcing me to expect change and to actually like it and expect variety and travel, and to be alert to things that are novel and progressive. Well, when Grace suggested that we do this podcast, I was excited because it's something I actually had thought about for the past 2 years. And actually, one of my psychic readings said that I should be doing, I might want to do a podcast. That was about 3 years ago. So
interesting. And you never said anything.
No, well, I had it in the back of my mind.
Not to me.
Oh, I guess I didn't, but I did have it in the back of my mind, but I wasn't sure how it was going to materialize. So I was like, I had it in my mind, but I just didn't know how it was going to materialize. So this is actually, I do resonate with this. I do resonate with this life path because I do feel that I do seek out new things, and they appeal to me, at least. I mean, even when I wanted to start blogging, whenever it was 10 or 11 years ago, I knew right away I wanted to do it because it was something new. And it was, not only was it new, it was becoming popular. And I just wanted to get in on it and understand it. So I do resonate with this 5. Not to say that I am comfortable with change and variety and all this, and I'm not, but I do feel this compelling, attraction towards it. I'm not comfortable with it, but I still feel compelled to go in this direction. So yeah, the 5 definitely. So yeah, those are, and of course, there's the other, I can briefly talk about. Number 1, what do you think? What number 1? It's almost obvious. It's like must learn. This is the life path for number 1. Must learn independence and the ability to go it alone. Must strengthen your own powers. Use your brain to devise new and original methods. Must refuse limitations. Cooperate without losing the individuality. Lead, control, and direct. Must develop the body, mind, and spirit to the highest point of efficiency. So it's like number 1, independence, individual. It's really about, working.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, doesn't that make sense? Now, 2, on the other hand, if you have a life path of 2, it's the opposite. You must learn to submerge yourself and follow the lead of others. You must be the peacemaker, diplomat, and go-between. You must work carefully and patiently on the smallest detail. You must learn the power of silence. You must be a good mixer. So must not
A
look
good
for,
team player,
yeah,
maybe a good
exactly,
collaborator.
exactly. Must consider as important kindness, gentleness, must cultivate friendships and be loyal to them, must put yourself under the law of giving and receiving, must be expressive only through patience and persistence, never dominantly. So it's number 2, they're calling it association. I know it's very much partnership when you have a life path of 2, working in partnerships and just putting the partnership or association first. You're a peacemaker, go between, so to me, that's like you're putting the goals of the partnership first and foremost before your own. You're cultivating partnerships and friendships. So it's almost the opposite of 1, right? I'll just, it might get tedious me reading all of these, but I'm just going to read you one more, and that's the life path for 3 because it's short. Life path 3, you must learn to give of yourself freely and joyously. You must cultivate social contacts and be always a welcome addition to any gathering. You must make yourself invaluable through your ability to shed the light on dark places. And you must learn to express yourself through art and beauty, friends, and happiness. So that's like a happy-go-lucky type of life path, isn't it?
But it sounds similar to 2, kind of.
Okay, although 2 is more emphasis on the partnership and not being dominant and making sure that things move along smoothly. You're the peacemaker. You're working carefully and patiently. You're not seeking praise or recognition. So you're working in a partnership, and you're not trying to have all the attention or be dominant and, this is my will, or this is the way I want it. No, it's really about working together in a partnership. So,
but how about 3?
3 is self-expression. That's the self-expression is the key word for that. So it's about, even though you're cultivating social contacts, it doesn't mean you have to always be in partnership or association, right? But you have to be happy and light and kind of the life of the party and a welcome addition. So you're bringing joy and you're expressing yourself through art and beauty and friends and happiness. So it's not quite the same as 2.
Not exactly, no.
No. Anyway, I won't read any more about that.
Okay.
If you have any questions, anybody, or if there's a number you want to find out more about, leave us a comment and I'll answer it based on this book and other books that I've read. The letters in your name have meaning. So each, Grace, G will be associated with a number. R will be associated with a number. I know it's written here somewhere, and you can add those up. And, here we go. Yeah. That will give you another number for your name. I think you read about that, or you told me that one of your books covered that.
Because I have a book myself. So this one is called Crystals and Numerology.
Okay.
And it's by Editha Wuest and Sabine Schieferle. I'm sorry. I will include this in the description, so don't you worry if you're curious to go through this book. But it's called Crystals and Numerology, Decode Your Numbers and Support Your Life with Healing Stones. So I'm also into healing stones. So we're getting back to my interest in the metaphysical, right?
Right.
But when I picked this up, they instruct you on how to use your name.
Right.
And they say, like, if you, for example, Grace is not my birth name. That is not the name that I was given because I was born in South Korea.
Okay.
So, my parents gave me a Korean name. So basically, when I calculated, I used my Korean name.
Okay.
So instead of Grace, I used my Korean name.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what
Interestingly,
I'm
though,
doing.
I'm just looking in the book and the numbers that are associated with Grace. And when I add them all up, guess what number I get?
Is it 7 or
Seven.
the 7
Seven.
or
No, it's a
it's not
7.
8? Okay.
No, it's a 7, which is interesting because that's your birthday. 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, here's something even more interesting. When I add my name up, it's a 3,
5.
6. Mine comes to a 9, and that's my
That is
birthday.
yours.
That's
Oh,
my
it is.
birthday. So that's interesting because yours is a 7, which is your birthday, and mine is a 9, which is my birthday. So that means for us, for you, the 7 like will be even doubly more meaningful to you, and for me, the 9 will be more meaningful to me, right?
So that's interesting.
Yeah, very
It
interesting.
even added up the same. Your
Yeah,
name along with your birth date, the day you were born.
My first name
It aligned.
matched my native number. So that's interesting. I have
Yeah.
another book that even takes it further. So this one is just telling you, what number your name is associated with. But I have a book that actually it talks about your personality. It's a book of names. And of course,
Oh, okay.
it doesn't have everybody's name in there, unfortunately, but
Well, no, that's not
it might
possible
have
anyway.
it might have yours in there, like it might have Grace in there because it's a
Oh,
fairly
yeah.
common name, right? Anyway, if you read there's a page about your personality, and I find it very accurate. I've had that book for a while, and I've read.
Do they have Lori?
Yeah, they do.
Spelt the way that you
Yes,
spell it?
yes, they do.
Lori?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've read things in there where I'm like, oh my God, that's really very accurate. And I want to tell you one thing. Back in my 20s, before I was really interested in numerology, I think I was a little bit interested in astrology at the time. But I remember meeting other women named Lori, spelt the way I spell it, Lori. And I remember thinking, she has a very similar personality to me. And
interesting.
yeah, and this, as I said, this was before I was interested in numerology, but I remember meeting a Lori and same spelling, and I thought, she has a very similar personality to me. And it just registered with me. Then I met another Lori, it was probably a year later or something. And I thought, she has a similar personality to me. I started noticing that all the Loris that I met, they had very similar personalities to me.
Interesting.
And then I learned about numerology and the fact that it isn't just your birthday, it's your name as well. We are going to be staying at a hotel. Right.
It's just a day's stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
no, I just meant
we
for
would
you
really love to film something on location.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you'll be, we'll be reporting from, it's in Toronto. So we're not going far. Anyway, I think that
it's a nice getaway.
Unless you have any more that you want to say about numerology? No?
No,
okay.
No, I think we're good for this one.
Okay. So, yeah, so thanks for tuning in. If you want to know your life path or some details about your life path, please add a comment in the description. We love seeing your comments.
Yes.
Yeah, so have a great week, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
So we'll be posting some of our next episode from the hotel we'll be staying at. And I was just thinking maybe I could bring that book if you want to have a look at it. Grace,
Yeah.
I can bring the book with me.
Because well, yeah, we'll see how much time we have.
Yeah.
Because it's just a day.
Right.
It's just a day stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
no, I just meant
we
for you
would really
have a
love
look at it.
to film something on location.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you'll be, yeah, we'll be reporting from, it's in Toronto. So we're not going far. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think that
It's a nice getaway.
Unless you have any more that you want to say about numerology? No?
No,
okay.
No. I think we're good for this one.
Okay. So yeah, so thanks for tuning in. If you want to know your life path or some details about your life path, please add a comment in the description. We love seeing your comments.
Yes.
Yeah, so have a great week, everyone.